Nissan has been one of the pioneers of the EV market, not just in Australia, but globally, but they've been in a bit of a hiatus for many years now. That original Nissan Leaf came out well over a decade ago, but since then, been a little bit quiet on the EV front for the Japanese brand. But now we have finally got the Ariya here in Australia. Now the Ariya is a mid-sized electric SUV. Goes head to head with a whole bunch of things, starting with the Tesla Model Y, Toyota BZ4X, Kia EV5, BYD C-Line 7, all those sorts of vehicles, as well as a whole bunch of newcomers out of China. Now, of course, it looks quite distinctive. That's fairly par for the course when it comes to electric vehicles. This one in particular does sort of stand out. The grille is a bit different. The overall silhouette, it's okay. And inside, well, it's quite different in here. For example, I've got a big space on the floor. It's all very, very open. So you've got this center console here, a floating center console. And on some of the models, it actually has an electric operation. So you can slide that console back and forward. So a bit of different thinking there. And again, we're getting a little bit used to that on the EV front. Now the all important pricing. Well, the Ariya starts at a bit under $56,000 plus on road costs. And it goes all the way up to just under $72,000 plus on roads. So again, playing in the sweet spot of the market there. Crucially, it's priced below the luxury car tax threshold, and that allows people to take advantage of the fringe benefits tax exemption. Now in entry-level guise, which is known as Engage, the Ariya gets a 63 kilowatt hour battery. Not a whole lot of range. You're looking at 385 kilometers. That's according to the WLTP standard. You can expect less than that in the real world. And if you hit the freeway, well, I'd say you're probably going to get about 300 Ks, possibly less. So not exactly a car to get out and about in. Think of it more as a around town tourer. If you want to get a bit more range, well, you get the bigger one, either the Advance Plus, which is the car I'm in now, or the E-Force four-wheel drive one, all-wheel drive. Both of those get an 87 kilowatt hour battery, up to 504 kilometers of range, so a lot more useful in terms of that EV range. Now motor-wise, in the base three cars, you get a single electric motor, 160 kilowatts, 300 newton meters. In this one I'm in, the Advance Plus, it actually steps the power up slightly to 178 kilowatts, but basically that's to allow for the fact that it's got a bigger, heavier battery. Performance-wise, it is the torque doing a lot of the heavy lifting. You got that really nice, easily effortless 300 newton meters, pulls pretty strongly. Far from neck snapping, but easy, very easy to get around town in. Step up to the E-Force version and you get an extra electric motor, another one in the rear, exactly the same as the one up front. Combined, they can make up to 290 kilowatts, 600 newton meters, so pretty hefty in terms of overall outputs. It is a pretty chunky car, so again, not neck snapping in performance, but it's certainly grunty enough. 0 to 100, around about 5.6 seconds, so that will do anyone just fine. And there's no shortage of tech either. You've got dual 12.3 inch screens, plenty of functionality to them, including wireless CarPlay and Android Auto. And I quite like what they've done with the dash here. You've got this wood look finish, so it's quite a classy looking dash finish, but integrated in it, sort of really part of that wooden finish, are touchpads. So basically touchpads for the ventilation controls. So a nice neat way of doing it, and thankfully you've got a nice big standard volume dial here too, so that works really well. And it's sort of indicative of what's going on in the cabin. It's a pretty spacious thing, so obviously the packaging of that EV setup allows plenty of space. So you've got a flat floor, for example, you've got decent knee room in the back and a reasonable sized boot, so it's all up fairly practical. In terms of how it drives, yes, you've got decent performance, and it actually sticks pretty well on the road as well. You've got decent steering, you dial up sport mode and you get some added fake sound as well as a bit more weight to the steering, and it sort of sits quite nicely around corners. The ride quality, it's a little bit sort of jittery, a little bit firm occasionally for my liking, but it's not out of control. You're actually asking the front wheels to do a fair bit in these front drive models, so occasionally it'll sort of skip the inside wheel as you try and put the power down, but in the four-wheel drive one, obviously you don't have that issue, you got a lot more grunt. But for me, I'd be more than happy in one of these two-wheel drive versions. Absolutely fine on the performance front and seems to drive pretty well as well. So yep, it's not perfect, but it does bring Nissan up to speed in this electric vehicle market. There's plenty going on. The Ariya is another absolutely sound choice in what is an increasingly busy market.